equals 3x plus 1, what x value should we choose?
Any?
Yeah, we really can put in any x value we want.
Start with -2.
Okay. Are you thinking like...
Well, no, I started with -1, but I ended up with like 3.
Are you thinking for this symmetry like this? Yeah. That's a nice suggestion. You really can use any x values you want, but I probably wouldn't start with 100.
No.
120.
The fraction ones are fun too.
Yeah, we're going to get to the fraction ones for sure. So could they just be all positive? 0, 1, 2, 3. We could have done that too, but it's nice to do some negative and some positive. Okay, so these are x values, and we're making a table. So in the middle, we're going to calculate our y. So we take our x, we plug it in, and we get our y. So y equals 3 times x plus 1.
We need to do.
So 3 times -2 plus 1. I guess I didn't leave a lot of space in there. So let's just calculate it all. -6 plus 1, -5. So that will give us the coordinates -2, comma, -5. And let's do that for all 5. So y equals 3 times x, which is -1, plus 1. -3 plus 1 is -2. -1, -2. 0 is my favorite number to plug in. Yeah. So I'm alternating. Y equals 3 times 0 plus 1, that's 0. So 0, comma 1. Question, or are we just... Okay. And then y equals 3 times 1 plus 1. 3, 4. 1, 4. And then we plug in 2, last but not least. 3 times 2, that's 6, 7. Now you get to do everything you've been learning today.
3 times 2 is 6 plus 1. Oh, it's 7. Girl, where is your brain today? I'm adding 2. I wrote 2 on there. That's why plus 2.
So now we take our points and plot them on the graph.
Yeah,
I think ones. Should we go by ones? At the very least, label your x, y, and your scale. That's very important. Oh, also you might want to get a little, just like a little 6-inch ruler or something. I keep one in my bag. Little straight edge.
Should we name our points as well? The ones that are in the parentheses should be named in A, B, C, D, E?
You don't have to label the points.
Okay.
You can if you want to.
Okay.
I can't find my little ruler right now. Okay, so -2, -5, -1, -2, 0, 1, 1, 4, 2, 7. Okay, now this is a perfect check, because if your points don't come out in a line, something went wrong. So just go back and check your work. I'm going to just use a piece of paper here. Straight edge.
Do you want the arrow on the end of it?
Yes.
Well, I didn't know.
Put the arrows on the ends. Sorry, it didn't come out that great because my piece of paper is not quite wide enough. That's a single line. And you just graph the line. Okay, you want to do the fraction line together? Let's do a couple in the table first. Or if you're working on it yourself, that's totally fine. When it goes by halves, I want to choose my x values wisely.
Yes.
I don't have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So what values would it make sense to choose for x if I'm not such a huge fan of fractions? 0.5. What? I want to take half of something.
Oh, even numbers.
Yeah, if I chose even numbers, then I would be taking half of an even,
It's easier.
and I don't have to deal with fractions. Of course you can.
On blood work, I couldn't get one, so it was full on fraction.
Yeah, do the fractions, and I know you're capable. But I'm going to choose even numbers. Do you want to do the, we could start with 2, 4, 6, 8, or we could do a couple negatives.
Yeah, sure.
Go put 0 in the middle, go -2, -4, 2, 4. It's not right or wrong. Like any 2 points makes a line, right? We're doing a few points to practice and as a check.
How do you know if you want bigger numbers or smaller numbers? Do you usually start with smaller numbers because it's going to be easier to graph? How do you know if you need bigger ones?
Well, smaller, I'm starting with 0 because it's in the middle, and then I'm doing a couple on each side. Do you mean like bigger, like 5, 10?
Yeah. 20? Yeah. Does it just depend on the equation?
Yeah, exactly. Depends on the equation. If I had something like 1/100, I'd probably go by hundreds.
Do you generally always have to have negatives?
Well, if I just put positives in my table, since I have some points over
You
here,
wanted to like
then I would draw my line all the way over. So either way. And because it's a line, I really can put those points anywhere. Later in 65, when you do parabolas, you put certain points. So that might be what you're thinking of. Don't worry about that now, but lines, you can pick your points anywhere. 1/2 times -4 minus 1.
Oh, I was like, what?
What's half of -4?
-2.
-2. So -2 minus 1 is -3. So -4 comma -3. Try to practice those fractions in your head. Y equals 1/2 of -2 minus 1. So half of -2 is -1 minus 1. So -2, -2. 1/2 is 0.
0.
Still 0. Yep. That's why I like putting 0 in my table, because it's an easy one. 0 minus 1 is -1. So 0, -1. Now I'm on the positive side. We did the harder work first. Half of 2 is 1 minus 1. Yeah, 0. So 1. So 2 comma 0. And half of 4 minus 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, let's see if those all lie on the same line. Do we still want to go by ones? I think that works.
Yeah, it does.
Well, yeah, she did 2 and 2 people did, but she got different answers. I think it's because she sees it as
So label my scale and my axes. -4, -3. -2, -2. 0, -1. 2, 0. 4, 1. Okay, looks like we did it right because they're all in a straight line. Yes?
When I did -2 and +2, I wrote it as a fraction also, so I would do 2/1.
Sure.
And I got 2 and 3, but you got 2 and 0.
Yeah, so you did 2/2. Did you write this as 2/1?
Yeah, I cross multiplied after I wrote it.
Oh, remember multiplying goes straight across. You can cross cancel. So multiplying you would be 2/2, which is
So
1.
you cross multiply when you do that then.
When you multiply fractions, you multiply straight across.
But I'm asking, when would you be able to cross multiply?
That's when you solve a proportion. When you have a fraction equal to a fraction. Yeah, those are easy to confuse.
Even though we got a straight line.
I think that looks pretty good. That one's not as steep as the first one. Okay. Questions or comments on this one? Now we could have just gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then we would get this point, this point, this point, this point, this point. See how we get some halves?
Yeah.
Like that'd be, 0.5, and that would be 1.5. That's totally fine. Just if it's fractions and you want to make it a little bit easier and not use fractions so much, you can use even, or if it was 1/3, you could go by 3s. 1/5, go by 5s. So I'll just